It has been a hot minute since I did a video, and I'm back and I'm very excited. And I'm going to be doing a new weekly soul contract series where I post a video every week talking about the weird and the wonderful dynamics of the soul contract reading work. So, if you haven't come across me before, my name's Antonia, and I love to help people develop deeper levels of self awareness so they can become more compassionate with and more confident in who they are and just have a better time in life in general. So, the theme of today's soul contract series is the power numbers, because power is a really misunderstood term and it gets bandied around all the time, especially in this sphere, come into your power and empowerment. But what does that actually mean? So, the definition of having power is having the ability to do something. And sometimes that ability or that belief in our ability gets taken away. And this is what we call disempowerment. So, I would say there's three numbers that are really about power in the soul contract system. And to an extent, all of them are. But these are the three that really stand out for me. And I've got 2 out of 3 of them. So if you don't know what the energies are in your soul contract chart, I put the link below where you can get a free chart so you can see all the numbers, and then you can check out all my videos and all my blog posts about all the different numbers and piece together your story. So in the meantime, the power numbers, we're going to start with the energy of 5, and we're going to look at 9, and then we're going to look at the 10-1. So the 5-5 energy is a very soft power. And often people who have a 5 energy, especially when it's in a karmic position, so in the karma, maybe in the goals or the soul destiny, you are here to assert yourself. Now, the 5 energy is very ethereal, and every 5 I meet can be quite heady, big imaginations, very creative, and very living on the ethereal spiritual plane. They can be big overthinkers as well, real mental people thinking on a very mental level. But the 5s are really here to ground down their energies and to speak their truth and assert themselves and come into more of an Aries energy. And Aries is quite assertive astrologically. So that's what you're here to do with the 5s. But often they can attract people who will come and try and take away their power, because that is how we learn all of our lessons in life, through the experiences we have and the relationships that we have. So if you have a karmic 5 energy in your chart, you may have noticed that there could have been situations when you were younger, or even now, where you can come into slightly disempowering situations with people who are overly assertive, overly dominating, overly powerful for your very sensitive, gentle 5 energies. So this is the big lesson of the 5. You're really here to speak up for yourself and use your voice. And the interesting thing is that can feel really scary for the 5 energy. They want to speak up, they want to speak their truth, but the fear is a little bit too great. So this is really all about boundaries as well, saying no, walking away from people who take advantage of who we are and our nature, and learning to recognize your voice and the strength of your voice and start to use it. So let's talk about the 9 energy. I also have the 9s in my spiritual goals. And the 9s are a strong, we call it the dragon serpent energy, a bit like the dragon in Game of Thrones. It's a very strong, powerful energy that can sometimes wear the conscious personality out a little bit. And what I mean by that is people with 9s can really push themselves physically. They may be able to do lots of things, but they may also get a little bit tired and burnt out from the soul wanting to do so much. The 9s are also here to overcome any fear and any resistance to reclaiming their power. And what I mean by that is, often when the 9 energy is in the chart, it can be a very powerful energy. So you could be very powerful when you're around other people, or depending on where the 9 is, you may have experienced disempowerment, especially in childhood. Where you haven't been able to express yourself, you haven't been able to stand up for yourself, You haven't been able to make your own choices. This is all disempowerment, taking away your ability to do something. So nines are very much here to overcome any fear and resistance of stepping back into their shoes where they recognize their ability to do something. So that is the 9 energy. And then we have the 10-1 energy, and I actually don't have this in any of my charts, so it is one I'm not so familiar with, but I come across it a lot. And the 10-1 is all about using your power responsibly. 10-1s can be very powerful people. Often, if there's a 10-1 in a very karmic position in the chart, there may have been disempowerment, especially from the masculine. So we're always looking at the father. For women, we're looking at partners, but mainly we're looking at dads. But it can be any sort of masculine energy in your life. And so the 10s are here to claim back their power, but with integrity and with responsibility, because 10-1 is a masculine expression of God coming down and working through you. And it's a very, very strong energy. You're really here to be of service. You may have lovely intuitive healing abilities. You're really here to make a difference in the world, and you're a service soul. But the 10-1s are also here to learn integrity, and they may sometimes just miss the mark, depending on who you are and what other energies you have in your chart, where you're not quite using your power properly, you're not quite using it responsibly. So you really are here to heal any dynamic of power within your being and within any trauma that you've experienced within your childhood. We all have trauma. And come into a lovely balanced expression of power within you, your ability to do something. And because it's about the masculine, it's about coming into a lovely balance between the feminine and the masculine, because they're both very different characteristics. So that is what power is in the soul contract system. And of course, every number out of all 22 numbers, they're all about power in a different shape, a different way of seeing it. But when we think of power, these are the big ones. So depending on where they are in your chart, you're really here to speak up and assert yourself with the 5s. You're here to overcome any disempowerment and fear and resistance in knowing your ability to do something with the 9s. And you're really here to use your power with integrity and a balanced responsibility with the 10-1s. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me through my website. Put all the links below. And until next time, I wish you a very beautiful rest of your day.